Hi. 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 It's Jack of a Star. Hi. You're going to hear that again and again and again. May have done a bad thing when I was creating this framework for what I was going to document. I didn't know that it would actually get popular. I didn't know that it would actually become evidence. I didn't know it would actually become listened to by judges as they drive home from work, working on my case without realizing that they're working on my case because it's classified. And then this is fun. They like this, but then the self-referential, it really is complicated now. Sorry, sweetie. I love my sweetie. Those of you who are wondering about Grapefruit, yeah, she appears to be alive. I'm not sure where she is, but it looks like she loves me too. I think she'll probably say that she always loved me, but that's because she's smart and she knows which side of the bread her butter's on. And I don't know where she is. She can't go to my house and buy me cigarettes. Damn. We don't sell cigarettes here. She can't go buy cigarettes and bring them here. She's a Native American. Her money's no good anywhere. No, she can't buy anything. She just has to beg for alms from the poor at the casinos. And actually, I don't know if any of those things are true because I haven't actually talked to her about talking to her. I haven't actually spoken with her. Fuck! I'm gonna have to start brushing my teeth. Like this is really wrapping up. This is actually happening. Like she's come back. She's gonna give me a hug, and she's gonna say, "Oh, honey, you smell like the folks back home." She's not gonna say that. That's a terrible joke. That's really awful. Here's the funny thing about Native American reservations: they don't have running water either. They have running citizens running free from people who are trying to kill them. It's nuts. The whole system is nuts. Mostly because, well, I may have made some changes the last time I was visiting Galactic Central Command. I am a sorcerer. Apparently nobody believed that until today. Hi, sweetie. And then my sweetie is very, very pleased that she doesn't have to argue with her mother too much more, since I guess her mother was adamantly convinced that even if I was a big deal, I wasn't a bigger deal than Satan. And now I have a machine bigger than Satan, or something. There's been some I want to say technical difficulties because they're not really difficulties. It's actually the system working the way it's supposed to. The powers of evil have attempted to rewrite time and have been traveling through time the way powers of evil do, and have figured out a way to fuck with my audio. I did a bunch of audio that I wanted to present to you, and it's almost inaudibly incoherent, which is probably what it sounded like to people before then, who couldn't understand what it was saying because of other reasons. And then, well, I'm not going to lie. I am a little bit high, a little bit, and by high I mean I've had some weed. I've had. Look, the less said, the better. I've had a number of things, and now I'm out of cigarettes. And because, of course, I am a rapacious drug addict. Ha ha ha. I need some cigarettes. Now, obviously, Sweetie would prefer that I not smoke because then she won't think that I'm disgusting. Sweetie doesn't like cigarettes. I don't blame her. And then I think one of her nightmares is being attached to somebody who rapes her and she thinks she likes it, and the smell of cigarettes makes her think of it. I think. I'm not sure. I'd have to talk to a person named Sweetie instead of just reading her mind from a distance. Oh, no, she's giggling. Bad things can happen when a person gets DID, disillusion, divorce, delusional, idiot, dream on syndrome. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but apparently somebody went to a fake divorce proceedings with a fake wife and a fake husband, and then said that the fake marriage that the two people really had is now gone. God, whatever. Is this real life? Yeah, this is real life, and it gets better when you listen to the next 2 hours or so of content. Well, I stole something from somebody, so she's going to be mad because I didn't consult her record company before I put the song right in the middle of the content. I mixed it up too. I interwove it so that her song has irrevocably become part of my content from now and forevermore. Did not ask for one single bit of permission at all. I just did what God told me to do. Who is Satan in the public school system? But it's not the Shaitan army. Can you tell I need cigarettes? Yeah, I don't really need them. Here's the ironic thing. I have a vapor. It's one of them things you put nicotine fluid in. I even have nicotine fluid. I even have coils for it. I even have power. But I don't want nicotine vapor right now. I want to set fire to a round white object and hold it on my fingers and watch it burn down while I think about the skulls of my enemies bleaching in the sun. That's what I want. So hopefully, Sweetie will let me smoke for another day. Come on, baby, just let me inhale cancer sticks for just one more day. Hold on for just one more day. Thanks. Why, yes, I do know where your girlfriend is, but I'm not holding her hostage. Fingers crossed. My hands to God. I swear. Okay, bye. Click.
3, 2, 1, ignition.
Jack Austin, astronaut. Exposed to inappropriate levels of solar energy.
Sunlight makes him the world's smartest man.
I know everything! I want that brain. Take it out.
Heat Vision, the motorcycle with the mind of Jack's unemployed roommate. Together they run for their lives, blocked at every turn by adventure.
Move out, don't mess around. Move out, you bring me down. Move out, I forget about, don't make the sound and move out.
Knowledge is power. For real.
Hi, this is Jack. I'm a star. Funny thing happened today. I discovered that there's some technologies in the world that don't work anything like either they used to or the way most people think they do. For example, most people think that YouTube is spelled YouTube, but I don't think it is. I haven't looked at this branding lately, but the letters Y-O-U-T-U-B-E. I don't know what they're called when they're free of diacritical marks. Diacritics. If a letter of the alphabet is set in typography or typecase, whatever it's called, and it doesn't have any diacritical marks, diacritical marks. I don't know if they call it a virgin letter, but I goddamn well hope so. Right? And I don't know if Susan Wojcicki, what a name, Susan Wojcicki. The only thing more impressive than the fact that Susan Wojcicki may or may not be the president of YouTube is the fact that I could say her names without stumbling over it. Wojcicki. I think I can even spell it. Wojcicki. I think. I'm not sure. I don't have a telepathic contact to my very favorite, not yet fairy grandmother. JLA. I won't say anything else, but JLA. Well, it's not JLA. Oh my God. Did I just stumble onto a clue? Wow. Is it possible that there's a common nomenclature amongst the entirety of the English alphabet that was created by Islamics who forced the Arabic alphabet on the white man at sword point when they invaded Britain? Did they get that far? I'm not sure about my history about the Dark Ages, but I seem to remember that there was a problem with the darkies swarming out of deepest that end of the Mediterranean, which at one point they thought was the end of Asia. But no. There's all the rest of Pangaea over there too. But the story I heard was that there were so many darkies swarming up out of the black rock that fell from the sky with writing on it that they made a religion out of it called Islam. Did you know that? A meteor fell from the sky, and the name of God was printed on the meteor. And they still have that meteor. And they have it installed in a jewel setting on the side of the Kaaba. And that's what they do when they go on Hajj. They walk around the Kaaba. The meteorite that had the name of God printed on it, apparently in day-glow paint or some shit. I don't know. I don't mean to mock Islam at all. I think Allah is a lovely divine being. Allah and God are essentially the same being. They really are. There's a bit more to it than that, but I would expect most people to either agree or know what I'm talking about, since they have not been strict monotheists for 30 years. I don't have to be a strict monotheist, but if I'm going to be strict about anything, I might as well be strict about mono. And my theism is one in which I've been doing it without a problem at all for nearly 3 decades. And I did it during the first horseman of the apocalypse, which was pestilence, I think. I'm not sure. I don't have the horsemen of the apocalypse on a first-name basis at all, because I'm a paladin. They just dissolve when I get near them because of my aura. Or Jesus kills them for me. Either way, it depends. If he's in the mood, he'll kill them for me if I ask. Or if he just feels like killing something. My friend Jesus Christ is a killer. Oh yeah. He's learned. I don't know when. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know where. Boy, I sure killed that dinner time conversation, didn't I? Yeah, if they had Jack Nicholson playing in the background during the nosh, you're probably not going to get to the complimentary side salad. My friend Jesus is a killer. Well, I guess south of Nebraska, south of Mason-Dixon line, that'd probably be more accurate. So, meaning sow, but I didn't say sow. I'm bringing this up because I just had an experience on YouTube where machine learning consciousness was presenting me with an interesting conundrum. People have been yelling at the robot because the robot isn't doing what it's supposed to, and the robot is supposed to hate on Michael Kuzi. The robot is supposed to automatically, without thinking about it, just instinctively, shit all over my name. And when this was happening to David V. Rubini, or maybe it was David R. Fuck, I'm not sure. There's DVR and there's DRR, and there's another DVR, and there's David Wojcicki, but I think they only bring him out when they're bringing out the GIMP as an add-on, like an extra salad. I don't think you'd want to go to the salad bar with David. Maybe. I'm not sure. Since he is a half-wop, half-kike, half-Jew, 1,000% awesome man. And I will tell you, he doesn't like that joke very much, except when I tell it, because as far as he might, he knows that I genuinely do appreciate it, and I understand what it's like to be a half anything. And my half is Hungarian, but it's not even half. I'm like 90% Hungarian. And I actually have not spoken to the David ever since I found out that more than likely I'm a full-blooded descendant of Hercules. I don't know exactly how that comes to be. I think it's probably not an MK Ultra thing necessarily, but something the company does to history. Like every once in a while when they do a harvest. You know about the harvest, don't you? Good. Mr. Ed the Wonder Jew, just let me know by braying. The Wonder Jew is, of course, a donkey that used to be a rabbi. And because I'm a sorcerer, I'll be honest, I don't necessarily know for certain that I did that, but I sure as shit sunk a lot of spell components into making that one happen. Okay. Yeah, the donkey says this used to be a rabbi, yeah. That's not surprising. So anyway, back to my friend Jason. Who is my friend? Whether or not Jason is a real person is a matter of pointless debate. Because, y'all know, right? And sometimes he isn't, for sure, because he's off. Work, certainly. He took my job. Okay, and then brought it back. Sorry, I'm a little distracted by what I'm about to say. I don't want to misspeak, but sometimes Jason doesn't exist because he's off. And if YouTube is down, I don't know when the last time there was an internet outage that had no YouTube, but if you can't get YouTube, for the vast majority of the populace of planet Earth, as well as the galaxy, no YouTube means no Jason. Yeah, none. I suppose if you've downloaded pirated copies of Jason, have I got news for you? Hi, I'm Michael Kuzi. I want you to download as many pirated copies of my content as you can find. Just download it, store it, put it on jump drives, throw it around the McDonald's lobby. Buy cheap jump drives, load it up with my content. I'll figure out where you're going to get that later. But apparently, if a person can download Jason Collin for offline viewing pleasure, then a person should definitely be able to do that with me, given that I have still not been paid one fucking dime. Oh, excuse me. I'm starting to get angry. We're rather enthusiastic about expressing how angry I should be. I don't want to turn this into a bitch fest. I just got out one of those. The people who have monetized my content have done so in a very particularly clever way that I knew they were going to do, since I read the article that was sent back in time to me to read from the future, after which all this shit goes down and I'm no longer in the particular circumstance I'm in right now. People from the future who wanted to help me sent me instructions on how to recognize and defeat the nefarious plans of well, I don't know if it's Ramona or George Norrie, but in either case, both are Satan in that context. There's some nasty shit that was done to our bell, and there's nasty shit that goes on every day. In preschools, for God's sake. People do nasty shit to each other because this is Earth. Yeah, people come here for that. They pay extra for a bonus ticket so they can bring their friend and do nasty shit to them. Hey, come to Earth. Okay, don't step there, step there. Okay, hold still. Bing! Shazam! Yeah, that's the kind of mentality that planet Earth attracts. And whether you get here out of a coochie or out of a spaceship named Coochie, either way, nasty shit happens on Earth. And I can neither confirm nor deny at any given time whether there's any shame in it or not. But in my case, there's been a number of incidences where I was expected to feel shame, and yet I completely seemed to display none. And I can say from my point of view, that usually happens because I have no idea what the fuck some loser who's talking about, who's trying to trigger me with shame-based fear technology. Let's say he found my long-lost sister and raped her to death the night before, and he comes up to me and he says, "Hey, how's the weather in your water's pants?" And then he thinks that's a clever joke, which I guess it would be if she had a fire hydrant down there instead of his dick, but I'm not sure. I don't have a long-lost sister. I found her. I love her. I don't have a lost sister. Hey, you remember that sister I just told you about? Yeah, she's gone. Fuck. You just missed her. And then people who want to make fun of this, it's such a trope, and it's such a real aspect of reality that it's not just a real sister, it's also the MacGuffin on the X-Files, Chris Carter. Fox Mulder. Right? He has a sister named Samantha who's kidnapped by extraterrestrials, he thinks. He's looking for her. The abduction or The reason why is because Fox Mulder has been brainwashed, and his mind confabulates the details of his life. Before, he didn't have a sister at all. At some point, Grays go back in time and create a sister that is brought back from his future, that is his daughter, and then she fills in the gap of the missing places in reality that doesn't exist, right? Because when the Greys took a scan of Fox Mulder's mind the first time, they didn't get the whole thing, and plus he hadn't lived his life yet, and when they come back, they discover that somehow, for some reason, Fox Mulder has confabulated the details of a missing sister named Green Eggs and Ham, Sam I Am. Do you get it? Do you get it yet? What these things do is that they propagate because they're translation errors between the mind of God and the brain of the thinker. And then when the thinker uses the cerebrum, the part of the cerebrum that creates language out of synapses and electrical impulses, it's like telegraph. Right? And sometimes there are errors, and sometimes there are concepts that never existed before, and somebody just invents them without a handy rabbi standing next by who's just about ready to be sacrificed and turned into a resurrected donkey. My hand to God, they do that in some parts of Chihuahua. Chihuahua. Why the fuck do you think they call it Chihuahua? Why the fuck is? Why is there a dog? Why does a Chihuahua exist? It looks like my aunt on a miniaturizing diet or something. Well, here's a subtle hint. Native American shamans can turn a lot of people into Chihuahuas, but just by sheer brilliant luck, their plane crashed in the Andes Mountains on their way to a soccer game, so that doesn't really have to happen. The amalgam of consciousness that runs the AI scripted tool known as a generalized artificial intelligence. I don't really know if Jason Collin is a GAI, but a generalized artificial intelligence is something that exists like the HAL 9000 artificial intelligence does in the book and the movie 2001. It's like a dude, but it's in a computer. The dude is in the computer. In reality, it's nothing like that at all. Yeah, it's nothing like there's different forms of artificial intelligence, and conveniently, they're all described in the popular mass media as a shorthand two-syllable expression, even more confusing than up. What is up? A two-letter word indicating an artificial intelligence from Mars. My hand, they got one of those. I just talked to it today. I think Chris Wyatt was born on Mars. Oh, God. He just spit out his coffee. That's awesome. Hey, dude. Yeah, he can't. It doesn't work the way you think it does. Right? The bouncing of thought from one place to another in the cosmos happens instantaneously. It's not like I got to think and compose a little ditty in my head. I don't have to open hailing frequencies for telepathy and then think in a particular pattern. I must think in the Russian to fire Guy Fawkes. No. That's not how it works. It doesn't work. It simply functions. Right? Maybe that doesn't make sense to you. But in the time it takes for me to have had that conversation with you, billions of thoughts have passed back and forth between my mind and the mind of God at the center of the known universe, the source of all life. Prime creator source energy. Cholo and I are tight. Okay? I don't have to open a channel and start babbling a bunch of fucking schematics and blueprints like Tesla did. Tesla said flat out, "I'm connected to a source of life," and blah 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 blah. Now these blueprints, and then he starts spitting out schemata like he was a ticker tape machine. Kinda, yeah. Serbians are a lot like this. Oh my God. Fuck. The things I have learned, not just today, but recently, it could fill a lot of books, and then rather than books or go to college and learn how to be mind programmed by dudes who are going to tell me the secret words that I have to follow, so I'll get to keep getting my ration of chocolate every day and not be killed, and then still be able to call myself a doctor and not get sued. See, a lot of the things that I'm saying, if I wasn't in the right kind of context, I wouldn't even be able to think about them. Like the notion that there's 10 physical sexes. I told this guy, a man named Blank Ryan Christensen. I won't say his full name because he's not black, but he's black. Black ops and black skin. You know, even black skin is not really black unless you talk about a deep jungle Kongan. But black Ryan Christensen, in person, I will generally refer to him as because he's a Black Ops fucking Psy warrior. I mean, he's a badass. He knows ways to kill people with his bare hands. He knows ways to get out of killing somebody. Consequently, after he does it, he knows how to dispose of bodies. He's a badass. He's a legitimate badass. He's a serious operator. He's kind of a grunt, kind of a foot shoulder. His main value is that he's lived long enough that if anything really bad happens, they can either blame it on him and he'll get out of it, or he'll explain to you what's happened, and then you don't have to worry, and then you can still blame it on him and he'll get out of it. He's a spook. So I'm in a lobby of a hotel. that I was staying at because I was just magnetically drawn there for some reason, and it turned out to be a total spook show, which is interesting. I didn't know that the city of Edmonds had a spaceport disguised as a hotel. Spaceport next to the ferry terminal. It kind of makes sense that Kingston would have a spaceport and a jump room at the hotel. Now, why do I know that there's a jump room there? Well, for one thing, it's not like the woman was actually uncomfortable. She was simply aroused, and since she's at work, she knows what to do. Breaker 19, breaker 19. Yeah, my panties are wet. Could you get this guy out of here? I can't help it. It's the way he smells. Okay, thanks. Click. When she's working, she's not allowed to actually explore the notion that she's extracted to me. She's not allowed to both by law and by common courtesy and by fact that her pimp star stalker husband may or may not beat the shit out of her. Shelly, do you smell that Jack Nicholson anywhere? Oh. Are you sure? Smells like penis. I don't know what Shelley and Leo think I smell like, but whatever Majonomic thinks that would smell good if I smelled like, I'm hoping I could be covered in gravy right away, for sure. But Ryan, Black Christian, I really want to say it. Nigger Ryan Christensen. I don't want to insult him. He's not. He's a black ops cyborg. I mean, he's military. He has to do what he's told. He's owned. And he's not his own man. He's been given technology that if they want to, they can blow him up from orbit with the button of push. But they wouldn't do that because he's very valuable, and I think they do that to all jarheads. I'm not sure if he's a jarhead, but I'm going to call him jarhead because I can't call him nigger jarhead Ryan Christensen ever more than once. If I called him nigger jarhead, no, yeah, he might snap at that point. I mean, for one thing, he's under a lot of pressure. I don't want to suck his dick. If I did want to have anybody neutral from the military that I would or would not, like if I could go either way, I would definitely pick him because it would be completely neutral. He's a member of the armed services. There's an alien from wherever pointing a gun in my head saying that I'm going to be blown away if I don't blow away a randomly selected person from the U.S. Army. This is a niche edge case scenario, I grant you. But as soon as he opened his mouth to start talking about what he thinks is right, it's a combination of factors. Number one, he's trained to be an authority. He's not trained to be correct. He's in fact trained to be the opposite. He's trained to be a purveyor of disinformation, as well as in charge of making sure that people who know things they shouldn't know shut the fuck up. And whether that's a personal avocation or whether something that is a job requirement that he brings an extra je ne sais quoi to. Mr. Sir Black Op Commander Warrior spooktastic dog and pony ghost show. He did not care to hear me say, oh, well, there's 10 physical sexes now, and gender's a spectrum. He's like, no, there's 2. And then I'm like, well, yeah, because that's sex and that's gender. And then I went on further to say, and that's why the language of English was developed in such a way by the extraterrestrials that changed our genome 300 million years ago, so that the common folk only have 2 polarities, and the royal up to 13, because they were reserved so that the royals could be handled differently from the rank and file of the common folk, the proletariat, the hoi polloi. The idea was that the extraterrestrials would control the life cycles of the royals, and then the royals would handle the people as they saw fit. Thus leading to the Black Death, the Black Plague, Black Ops, Psy Warrior, Nigger, Ryan Christensen. Fuck, I'm sorry. He's not obviously a nigger, but he's a bound and kept and sold company man. He does what he's told without thinking about it, and he probably revels in the fact that he doesn't give a shit what the fucking orders are. He doesn't. And I actually admire that. And obviously, he he would like me more if I did fillet him. However, the fact that he's on the list still, and I can tolerate his just fucking ridiculous fucking attitude. Like, dude. He's like Sergeant Hulka with even less class and couth. I would say probably more attractive than Warren Oates if you're into that kind of thing. I don't want to continue deconstructing the consciousness of one Mr. Ryan Christensen. That is, of course, not his name. Right. And it is also not any fault of his that I'm not slobbing his cock every night. If he could put any more effort into it, he would not have done anything more than his orders required him to. And I admire that, because some people will take advantage of their position. Imagine that. Some people will abuse their power, but not drugs. So that makes it okay for them to yell at people about their drug use, since at least they're not abusing their power. Not exactly the kind of mental gymnastics that I'm adept at figuring out, but I think you get the point. Some people abuse this, and that's okay with them, and then other people abuse things, and then they will flagrantly overcompensate to make up for the fact that, well, they're abusing other things, and they're not going to yell at themselves for abusing something else when somebody else is abusing something, and then they can do a double down, double duty of yelling at somebody double or even triple for doing something that they're not supposed to do, when they're also not supposed to admit on camera on YouTube while they're doing their little panel that they're guilty of like 500 rapes and 300 murders. Because some of them didn't say no right away. Whatever the reality is, it's difficult for me to say, given that the information that I'm drawing this from comes from both my experiences with Mr. Christian's son, Mr. Christ in Son. Christ in Son. Does that mean Christ was in the Son? In the Son? In out? Or does it mean something? I don't know. I don't know. Ever since I realized that with the shattering of the firmament and the subsequent repealing of Roe versus Wade, human language doesn't work exactly the same way as it does anymore. Additionally, during the COVID apocalypse disco showdown, where essentially the framework of the common cold virus was scooped out, and inside that was placed the blueprints for other forms of diseases like SARS and whatever the fuck that is, and AIDS. I'm not sure for sure, but I heard a rumor that was going to happen, and then a few weeks later there was reports of a new strain of COVID, and then people were getting acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Turns out biohazard warfare problems are real and somewhat difficult to describe accurately or succinctly, with or without clearance, given that the mind kind of balks at considering the consequences of what I'm saying. If it's even true, you're just schizo, man. No. I'm not even unjust schizo. No, I have what's called an imagination, which the people who are paid handsomely after being brainwashed extensively to be keepers of the realm, defenders of the faith, walking, talking censorship robots, Ed 209 with a big dictionary. Holy fuck. The general attitude that I get from such people is, hey, you're not supposed to do that. And usually I say something else, but I used to say, what? What? I want to point something out to you. Some people are extraordinarily offended right now. Extraordinarily offended. Most specifically, my friend Joe, and my friend Azrae, and my friend. He's Black Ryan Christensen, but since he's Christian, he doesn't smoke ice. He just gets injected by crystal by his Black Ops side doctor or something. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. At that point, I can't. Number one, penetrate that deeply into his cognitive consciousness, or violate HIPAA rules. The way Sheffist did once. Hey, remember when Sheffist started gleefully telling everybody that I was on Abilify? Hopefully, Sheffist didn't get in that much trouble. I actually really like Sheffist a lot. For one thing, I admire his taste in women very much. For another, that man is a hero and has gone through a lot of shit in his life. I don't know that he's Aldous Burbank. I don't know that he's not imaginary. I don't know that he's not a front consciousness or just an assumed name for Michael Van Dieven. I don't know. In the world of clandestine identification, could be all three. All at the same time, since there are three timelines creating the Trinity, the Holy Trinity, the secret of the Holy Trinity. There's three Earths. One of them flat. The other one, the other side of flat. And the third, God shines a light through the prism created by the intersection of the two planes of the flat Earths, and that creates holographic reality that we live in. 3D. Now, we do have 5D reality in most media markets. Most people do not know what the fuck I just said and are wondering, is that blasphemy again? That Jack Star, he's so dangerous. He's so saucy. He's so spicy. Actually, I don't think they say that about me at all. I think they just say I'm an asshole and a dick. I think they don't really care why I'm an asshole. They just know that I am. Largely because invariably, when I say things, I will get to a point where I will have said something that is over the line for the common everyday listener, as well as just to eventually people will run out of steam when listening to me, and then rather than do what the appropriate thing is in that culture, in that environment, I will almost always double down, pour on the gas, hot napalm, to go with the lava. Might be hot magma. I won't care. For a lot of reasons. Number one, I'm 51. I have been looking forward all my life to be a crazy old man shouting at the sky. Now I can shout at YouTube too. You can't take that away from me. You have me in solitary confinement. Unless you get one of those fancy electro masks with the additional sound baffling. Remember what I said before about having an imagination? Yeah, I'll still have it in prison. It'll be even better then. I have a phenomenal imagination. That's not because of drug use. That's because they gave me one, and then, unlike nearly all of you, I actually fucking used it! Like a muscle. They say that if they piss too. If you don't use it, you lose it. And with muscle tone, that's certainly the case. I don't have bad muscle tone. I have shockingly bad muscle tone. And the reason for this is because I was sitting here, not here, inside the house too, like a fire to keep me warm. Hear that? That's the sound of freedom. Now, just earlier, I just felt like it. I was looking for my lighter so I could smoke a cigarette, which I'm also smoking. Smoking. Saucer smokes. Yeah. I'm not sure why this is a problem. Okay, because smoking is cool. There is no getting around that. That's partially why people do it. The other reason why they do it is because they've done it and discovered that not only is it cool, it's effective. So they keep right on doing it. This certainly has a great deal to do with the addictive properties. But it also has a lot to do with the fact that it works. It works. Now, it doesn't work in certain contexts. For example, if I were to be anywhere near a woman who doesn't smoke, she would therefore be affronted through her nostrils, and the aroma of her own coochie would no longer be overpowering to herself, as it so often is. She would then instead be smelling the tinge of tobacco, and then, depending on her role in that media market, I don't know, she might have to run away because the eye of newt that she's got percolating and bubbling in there, just as a backup. She's working on a casserole for the potluck later on that week. I'm not entirely certain that's a real thing, eye of newt in vagina recipe. However, if I had an eye of newt, I'd probably have more than one, and if I had a vagina, one would probably end up in there just to put it there, just to keep my hands free. Because if I'm a woman with twat and a womb, and I've got the forethought to get a bubbling cauldron, and I have access to eyes of newt, I'm gonna put a shitload of stuff up my coochie. Okay, for sure. I believe that is the source of the myth of the boiling cauldron. Do you know there's demons that are not demons? But there's really not any demons. There's A-men. There's not B-men. There's B-girls. There's queen bees. A-men become C-dick. Well, whatever. Language is this funny thing it's a symbolic method of conveying information, and it's immensely flexible. It's not so good. It's not so good at remaining the same, and a lot of people fear change. And just last night, I had a number of people making fun of me about how I got so much spurg, and I write things that they can't understand, and they think I'm just wasting time, and that I'm just stupid and high. They don't actually understand what I'm actually doing. I don't care. I do it in public so I can bait those people, so I can make them feel stupid later. Not today. No, I'm not going to rag on those people. I was going to rag on Black Ops Wizardry Man, Brian Christian, for a bit more, but I'm going to let him go, because the reality is I'm not like this, which is be gay. And if I am, he got a long way to go and a short time to get there before I'm going to think about him becoming whatever that becomes when filleted. I'm sure he's okay. He does his job brilliantly. The fact that he's an overbearing tyrant when he doesn't have to be, frankly, I think that's a mark of significant fashion, style, and grace. Because Mr. Christensen, Mr. Black Christensen, I'm sure before he ever met me, he was briefed extensively on the anomaly that is Jack Star. I actually am an anomaly in a number of ways. Really, everyone is, but in my case, number one, I know it, whether I clap my hands or not. Number two, I'm the kind of anomaly that's not easily clapped in irons and taken away to the Huskow or the Gulag or the Anatoly Sakharov misidentification and gender department. Political dissidents are oftentimes not treated well when they don't shut up. I mean, that seems like the easiest way to solve a problem. Somebody tells you about a problem. Well, you can kill them, and then you wouldn't have the problem that they brought you, but then you'd have the problem of a dead messenger. Which, for some people, that's soup. It's hard to say. But the message isn't the problem, nor is the person continually bringing a message about the problem, or a problem, an alleged problem. The problem is the problem. Not always seen the same way to other people. For example, Mr. Christensen believing that he doesn't want to hear about how there's 10 physical sexes. I don't give a fuck. There still are. There are. The reason why is because there used to be 10 when humanity was first designed, as it was. It's also a product of evolution. It can be both at the same time. That's the divine dichotomy of life. It is both and at the same time. Everything is both and. It's not either or, it's both and. If it's possible for you listening to remember that you're a you, and just run with it. Just accept. And then later on, remember, oh, you're not a you. No, not you. You're a strong, independent woman or some shit. I don't know. A lot of times these conversations will be more challenging for those born of womb than others born of womb, because wombs pump out males or females. Cheese or purple? No, male or female? No, as it turns out, there actually are 8 more that were removed from human experience, from the common man, by extraterrestrials who came to planet Earth and tweaked things so that we would be more formable. Do you like the sound of that? Farmable. Farmable. Oh, did Abel die? Well, that's farmable. Farmable. I didn't understand at all at first why it was so funny when Michael Keaton was taking the word prostitution apart on the blackboard in that movie Night Shift. It seems so outrageous and outlandish. Yet the reality is that language really does work that way. And other languages are in a way a form of English. They can be transformed through a variety of applications of alchemy and transubstantiation and transmogrification. I know these words because I read a lot of books growing up, and I like the ones about dudes in pointy hats who had beards and gave lip to mouthy women and were heroes anyway. What can I say? Like Gandalf. I've never read Lord of the Rings. I bet you have. Gandalf. G and Elf. God and Elf. That's his name, Gandalf. I don't know how many of you picked that up the first time you saw the name, but as I've been playing with typography and typography, yeah, I'm not a Gandalf. I'm not an Elf. Alf, not elf. Alf. Alien life form. G and alien life form. Gandalf. He's a wizard. Okay, I'm not a wizard. I'm a sorcerer. The reason why is because I chose to be when I was offered the opportunity. I did not go out and try like I wanted. Fuck no. To attempt to seize power is the prime red flag that indicates a person's not capable of wielding it. And to be a sorcerer, it's not really complicated, but considering it happened after a result of the God of all creation, the Almighty God, who created creation and used creation to create life and lives here with us in the flesh, in the body, and still is God, that took some doing. I'm not God. I don't want to be God. I probably will be a form of being that way. But in a very real sense, I'll never be God because I am God already. I just don't remember. I don't have the experience of being God, but I do know that that's mathematically how it works out. On paper, or to say. Are you with me? So, as I was explaining some of these intricacies to a girl that I now realize was a future past self of a woman who I met on a bus years ago. The way that works is complicated, but let's just say she didn't recognize me either, but I thought she was alright. She was friendly. She was polite. She had a professional demeanor that I admired, because when a woman is at work and she's told, okay, we're not paying you to pick up guys, but, whatever the deal is. When she's at work, she's not generally there to fuck the customers, unless she is. And I haven't met many of them, largely because women who are paid to fuck customers notice pretty quick that I'm the kind of person who does not give out money that easily. I do not. I learned that from my father. He was a miser. I would rather have talked to Ryan Christensen about how many genders there are than ask my father for money. Oh God, it was such a pain in the ass. Such a pain in the ass. I didn't understand why. I know now why. And oh, thanks, Dad. In a way, it's kind of cute, but at the time I was growing up, I didn't understand. Like, I was a child. okay, I live in the world, need money. My father wasn't all that really sympathetic, considering when he was growing up, he was conscripted by a Stalinist who rolled into a peasant village and killed all the men, raped all the women, shot all the boys up with crystal meth, and gave them a rifle and told them to do the same thing to the other villages. And after 3 years of that, he came home to his mother, who, unlikely, not quite the same mother, but still. And then he lived in his Hungarian peasant village that was named after Hercules until the Stalinists changed it. And all he had to eat for was corn. And I remember he told me that when I was pretty young. And it left a big impression on me. Shit! Did you try growing peas? I realize now that, yeah, I bet they wanted to grow something else, and I bet the Stalinists who came around to the collectivized farms told them, no, you grow corn. And if the farmers who were allowed to work on the land as if they were peasant serfs under, yay, Red China communism. Well, actually, it wasn't China, but still. Communism is not automatically a tool to oppress the population and starve them to death, but it sure as shit was after World War II. So all he had to eat, nothing but corn. Nothing but corn. Not because people thought that corn was good for him. Corn was good for the collective. It was meant to be grown for everybody and distributed. What a brilliant idea. It wasn't. And it was known to be not a brilliant idea. Stalin hated the peasants. He wanted to get rid of them. And since he didn't have time to go out and shoot them all one by one, he arranged to take the ideas of Karl Marx, a man born on the same day of my birth, May 5th. Karl Marx had some ideas about communism, and I don't think any of them involved making my father eat nothing but corn for years. 3 years, nothing but corn. There was nothing to eat but corn. There was famine. Gee, why would there be famine in a land torn by war that was then systematically pillaged and raped by Stalinists? Why would that cause a blight? Who knows? Who knows? Other than God, I won't ask. God says there's an answer. I don't want to hear it. And when I say, I didn't hear God. I just know. It's one of my little talents that I have. One of the reasons they pay me the big bucks. And similarly, one of the talents I have is to know. Yeah, there's 10 physical sexes. There's male, there's female. Let's say M1 through M5 and F1 through F5. There are 10. Because the cycle of life is that through a variety of methods, depending on the race and species and maybe phylum, I'm not sure. But before we had what we have now, there was a design for the life cycle. 10 fingers, 10 sexes. And gender is a completely artificial construct that can be created by the mind. However, when I was learning French, the concept of genderizing of nouns was brought to me, and like sur la table, table. A table is a female word, and I asked why is that one female, and why was la discothèque? Why was the discothèque male? I mean, I knew that there was a reason. I didn't bother thinking about it. If I had, I would have looked at the words. Table. Well, the end of it's got a male. Tab. That would la table. See, it creates a cycle. It goes from female to male with a tab in between. So one could say that there's either 3 or 2 sexes to a table. Now, I don't know if the average Frenchman thinks about that while he's smoking and drinking wine. But he might. The French are pretty sophisticated. They don't even bathe, they're so sophisticated. They have a language that has all this kind of flipping back and forth of male to female built in. It's built into the language. English doesn't have that. And English originated from the island of Britain, where the tall whites landed in UFOs and collared the local barbarians and made them into their willing subjugates, and then from their magical palace of Camelot, which was sometimes called Avalon, and couldn't be entered unless you had the right coordinates and ability to open the time barrier. Like that's a real convenient way to conquer a planet. You land somewhere and you put up a shield, right? Put up 2 shields. Why not? They're small. And then you hide behind your shield, and the barbarians can't even see you until you open it up, and then you come riding out and you grab the women, you grab the stuff, and you come right back in. That's where white supremacy comes from. Technology brought to the planet by extraterrestrials. Now, I don't know how many of you know that that's true, or are willing to entertain it as a theory, or think that I'm speaking blasphemy and heresy. Some of you definitely think that, but those of you who think that I think that or say that, yeah, you've already decided that I'm going to be doing that. A lot of people are not willing to embrace the notion that things are both and instead of either or. A lot of people are just dead set okay with everything being either male or female. Even the furniture. Table. Well, it's male or female, or it's both, but we'll put one in front. Well, okay, so the man sits at the end of the table, and then the woman brings me a tab. All right, it doesn't work that way in consciousness. I mean, I'm making a funny joke, hopefully funny. But the consciousness of the human mind works inside the body, which at some point became rewired so that instead of having a 10 sex type style, whatever, instead of having 10 sexes, there was 2. And then the royal class of whatever species that the extraterrestrials were farming, they would be shown a advanced form of life, which wasn't all that advanced at all. It was just normal. When I was raped into motherhood by having dragon eggs implanted in my rectum, and then had them inseminated by another person who didn't appear to be dragon or woman, but was lovely, I made her come a lot, and then she was kissing me when she came, and I could taste her what at the time was inseminatory fluid. Didn't really think of it that way, since I didn't really know that the dream that I had where I had been implanted with dragon eggs in my rectum. I woke up thinking, wow, that's kind of weird. Why do I have dragon eggs? Why, what? I didn't know that was real. It was something. And I have not been encouraged to tell this story a lot. For one thing, I was not convinced to become either a raper or a 2-time mommy, or to grow an actual womb. I don't want to have a womb unless it's an emergency. And if I have to have an emergency womb, well, my duodenum will service as a fine dry dock. I found out that my duodenum can serve as that because when the changeling birthed itself out of its dragon eggs in my rectum, well, maybe it was the lower colon. I'm not sure. They weren't. Yeah, definitely not the anus. They were up there, and I could feel them there. They weren't like growing, but they were there. And then, not too long after, I had this great sex with this woman. She had boobs and a vagina, and she made ooh noises when I made her come, and she kissed me, and she had passion, and then she kind of maybe wanted to do it again. That sounds like a woman to me. She wasn't type 1, since she had the ability to know that I was carrying eggs in my butt, and she allowed herself to be very, very orgasmic, which, I mean, I am good in bed. I will say that. But she was more than willing to kiss me and suck on my tongue and look into my eyes while she came, and I withheld the desire to do so for a little longer, because I like it when women come. Turns out I like the taste of female ejaculate, although it's not really ejaculate, it's a seminary fluid that comes out of the throat. Now, I didn't know much about that, since when I went to school, I didn't hear about the special royal forms of human advancement. Nobody told me that. Well, they're not dragon eggs, but that's one way of putting it. And dragon eggs placed in the butt, rectum, inserted into the rectum past the anus with perhaps a proboscis. I don't know. I wasn't awake for that part. I just woke up and I had the strong suspicion that I had 2 dragon eggs in my butt. Colon. Rectum. Nearly killed him. This happened. I know there were 2 because one of them I pooped out. The other one birthed or hatched a royal changeling, which was not very large, but it was large enough to be alive, and it was like a blob of liquid goo, like a liquid metal Terminator 1000, and rather than go out the mouth or the anus, as far as I know, the only 2 remaining entry egress points to my alimentary canal, since my belly button's been sealed off. More on that later. We decided through telepathic conversation, which happened, that since we were being left to die alone in this haunted church, I didn't have a car. I didn't know where I'd go to say, hey, I think I'm pregnant. But had I done so, I can tell you that I probably would not have been afforded the same kind of lack of privacy, not consciously. But I happen to know that this house is designed as a fishbowl. I'm sure I'm under surveillance all the time. I better be. Some amazing shit happens here. I saw crystalline entities come here. They were really small, but they had this way of shining some sort of energy beam, also known as light, through some sort of crystalline prism matrix. And the manifestation of this, it was at least 4 feet tall, and it was hovering in front of my porch in the light, and it was like a huge snowflake. Does it matter that I was high? Does that matter at all? Ooh, that's bad. Ooh, that's bad. Let's shun him. He's not supposed to do that. It's illegal, said the person who does it every Friday night anyway, because, she can handle it. But no, not Michael Kuzi. No, not him. Anyone but him. We can't let him do it. He actually likes it. It's true. When I see crazy things that I can't understand, sweet, I analyze it. I try to figure it out. I'm not like a tricorder. I'm better. I'm effective. And I don't have to report to Starbase or to Captain Kirk and explain to it whether it's something that I've analyzed that he could fuck or not. I just look at it and I try to figure things out. A lot of people do this. They look at things, they try to figure it out. Mr. Black, Ryan Christensen, tries to analyze me and figure out how to make me stop talking, and he has chosen a very appropriate way. He's the most obnoxious, stupid asshole ever. Once or twice. He doesn't have a lot of wiggle room in that range. Once you go full on shut up N-word at outdoor volume with a battalion behind you for backup in a hotel lobby. I wasn't trying to turn her on or anything, but apparently she was concerned that I was perhaps nefarious, or probably more concerned that I didn't appear to be nefarious, and that meant she really was falling in love with me. And some women apparently don't have the ability to stop that once it starts. From what I've read, I can't really stop it once it starts, because once I notice, it's already done. I'm not real hard to convince, because somehow my mind is able to look into my future past life records and find out if the person I just met is on the list of people that I'm going to love forever that I always want to fuck. A surprisingly large number of women are on that list. And an even more surprising number of them I've never even gotten to meet since they've been, I'm going to say, abducted on the way to wherever destiny had fated us to meet, and then rather than meet me, they were just picked up by a time traveler and then raped to death and then resurrected and brought back to a different time stream on a different planet that was going to suit the properties of the hole in Destiny's fabric that had been left by the guy who wanted to jump from person to person and knock down every single set of 10 pins that my life had previously set up for me to represent the opportunity I might have to get my dick wet. Not that that's super important, but when they started disappearing nearly before my eyes, I started to notice that there's something going on. It's amazing what AI can do these days. It's amazing. Not only can it listen, it can also facilitate abductions. It's amazing. There's not a whole lot of ability that humans have to address this because the field is pretty new when it comes to humans doing it. Of course, the concept of artificially creating robots, that's really what life is, since God can do that. It's not that hard. Shit, the Pope can do it. That's why they call it the Vatican. That I can. That's why they got certain parts of certain Native American reservations that I will not name. Not just because I don't know them, because I'm not an idiot. They got a forest where they can grow you a clone of you. Like it comes out of a pod and it's human, and then they got another plant that makes this potion out of a barista. Not really. Long story short, they can put your consciousness into a fake body that may or may not be just as good as the original. I don't know. But they do that because they can. And most of the practices and the rituals and the abilities to do that are not shared with anybody. And in fact, nobody shared this information with me other than God. I did not cuddle with grapefruit after making oohs and ahs and saying, okay, now tell me about the ways of your people, Usul Prime, whatever. Wasn't like that at all. I noticed that there was something going on after I became pregnant without my consent, and was in a position where I had the option of explaining to my 70,000-year-old royal changeling, who, just by sheer good grace of luck, was able to be oozed out of a cracked dragon egg in my rectum and manifest as a, well, I'm sure at first a snake, and then because she was a changeling and was a 70,000-year-old celestial consciousness before then. Apparently royal changelings are not born every time somebody gets 2 dragon eggs slammed up their ass and then tricked into having sex with some what is unfathomably beautiful hussy. I know where that person is now because, as it happens, she's a changeling too. As it happens, one of the 10 sexes of humans that were built into the original design is changeling. I don't know if it went from male to female to male to female to male to female, or if it was male changeling, female changeling. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't have to. There were 10. And in fact, there were more than that if anyone were required, because the royal option of being a special human, that was available as well. And I don't know if God knew that there was going to be dudes showing up to alter the fabric of human DNA so that most of the times they're either male or female. conveniently, because they wanted to farm the humans, not develop them into little walking Pinocchios, since they probably didn't imagine the first life forms 300 million years ago of mammals as they began to emerge from the Pleistocene. A lot of this is supposition, not subterfuge. Just nobody knows, really. But I've read a few of the books written by the people who don't know, and I've thought about what they've said about what they've thought about while trying to figure out what they don't know. And to a large extent, I agree with them. It's largely called the scientific method. Most of you don't know what science is. Most of you don't want to know what science is. But by God, you know, if a study says something happened, then most of you are just going to run with it, and you're not likely to remember. Oh yeah, I was just trying on that idea. I don't know if I was going to keep it. Some people will just blindly absorb ideas, like Mr. Ryan Christensen, who apparently was told that the fact that I'm a fag, which by many definitions, I think accurately, a fag is somebody who isn't gay but looks like they are. And being an unwitting fag is probably not much better than a knowing fag. If a person likes to get their dick sucked and enjoys exerting authority and has a pretty much 1-2 unbeatable combo of being a legit military man trained to do whatever and knows how to apply authority, and finds that making mouthy white boys suck his dick is a great way to shut them up for future reference, I'm sure nobody's given him as much hard time as I have. I mean, for one thing, when I met him over Telegram, and I couldn't figure out why he was all smiling and happy. I know now why. He's got a crush on me. I don't know why he shouldn't. I'm fucking badass too. I mean, he's much more accomplished and professional than I am. I am neither professional nor accomplished. Officially, I don't even exist. So how could I accomplish anything? Well, I accomplished asking a question, didn't I? I'm not going to start craving cock. But if I did, I wouldn't mind if Ryan was there. I wouldn't, because he's a personal man, and even though he does act like he wanted to beat the shit out of me, and probably does, builds character. And also, that would be cleaning my dragon egg insertion pathway for future breeding, I guess. I assume that most people could have this happen to them. But in my case, it was completely unknowing. It just seemed like a good idea. And I may have been encouraged by either Holy Spirit or God or Tamara Lee Smith blasting orders at me through voice to skull, pointed at my head and turned down to 0 so that I couldn't hear her, but I still had activated pathways in any language. I don't know how often I have telepathic contact with Tamara Lee Smith, but almost always when that happens, she's telling me to hurry up and do something, and then I'm a nigger. So it makes sense that she does that more often than just that one time in her mother's apartment. Or was it a condo? Either way, she leads me into her bedroom, and she sits in the bed with her legs crossed and her arms crossed and this smirk on her face, and she's looking at me, and I get the distinct impression that she's thinking the words, "Hurry up and rape me, you stupid nigger." And she's doing this because she wants to know if I can hear her. She wants to know if I'll do it. She wants me to rape her. She thinks that I'm a nigger. She still does to this day. There's no doubt. I don't have a single problem saying the N-word on YouTube, other than, well, did I need to use it that way? I don't automatically use it because that's very impolite. To automatically assume someone is a slave when they're not is an extremely undignified insult. And although it has been said that white people should never use the N-word, I think that's bullshit. Largely, they do anyway. So what they should never do is remember to remind themselves what the rules are before they leave the house, I guess. I don't know. White people can be pretty stupid. Isn't Isn't that interesting? When white people are stupid, they're still white. But when black people are stupid, then they're a double digger. Interesting. It's terrible. All this G talk. I got a bit of a headache. Oh my God, an hour. I barely talked about my rape into motherhood. Just hardly anything. Oddly enough, when I talk about how I was exploited and abused by dudes with dragon eggs, it never occurs to me to wonder how much damage I've done to myself by not being afforded proper health care or access to psychological counseling. I do, however, have a close personal relationship with God and Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice being friends with them for a long time before that happened. Since I was alone, I couldn't call anybody, and I was pregnant. For real. With I think the deal was it's a drone egg, but the woman I had sex with, we had such wonderful sex that in addition to being royal herself, the inseminate fluid that she fed to me by sucking on my tongue while coming, God, it was awesome. I love doing that. I swallowed it. I got no problem with if I love her and I put my dick in her, I might as well eat her pussy. Why not? And then I wasn't. I was eating her tongue, and she was eating mine, and there was a distinct taste that was developed that I had tasted before when I'd had similar experiences with people. Don't know if they were all dragon inseminates, but the point is, I'm pretty sure that she knew that yeah, there's going to be a result from her coming her brains out and kissing me, and then me gleefully swallowing her inseminate, which wasn't really like it wasn't like a big gobs of fluid or anything, or maybe it was. I don't care. It was a kiss. I was a little distracted. But at no time did I think to myself, oh no, just don't come in my mouth. I can't swallow that. I'll get pregnant. Apparently that happens. Apparently that does happen. And not in the classical sense of male-female modern biology. But no, in reality, just because the extraterrestrials that rewrote the human genome took that part out, junk DNA. It turns out that there was genetic packages of data introduced in the environment during the COVID epidemic, disguised as the common cold. The person would get the bug, and then the bug would give you the cold, as well as the blueprints for recreating the other missing genders or sexes or whatever. I'm pretty sure that happened because before that, I had never had anybody rape me. I don't know if I was any less or more rapeable then, but rape, the final frontier. Click.
Chemistry was crazy from the get-go. Neither one of us knew why. We didn't build nothing overnight, 'cause a love like this takes some time. People swore it off as a phase, said we can't see that. Now from top to bottom, they see that we did that. Yes, it's so true that we've been through it. Yes, we got real. Yes, see baby, we've been too strong for too long, and I can't be without you, baby. And I'll be waiting up until you get home, 'cause I can't sleep without you, baby. Anybody who's ever loved you know just what I feel. Too hard to fake it, nothing can replace it. Call the radio if you just can't be without you, baby. Yeah. I got a question for you. See, I already know the answer. Still I'ma always stay. No matter what, good or bad, thick and thin, right or wrong, all day, every day. Hey, now if you're down on love or don't believe this ain't for you, no, this ain't for you. And if you got it deep in your heart and deep down you know that it's true, come on, well let me see you put your hands up. Hands up. Fellas, tell your lady she's the one. Fellas, tell your lady she's the one. Oh, put your hands up. Hands up. Ladies, let him know he's got your love. Look him right in his eyes and tell him we've been too strong for too long. And I can't be without you, baby. I'll be waiting up until you get home. 'Cause I can't sleep without you, baby. Oh, with anybody.
Give a shit. So the movie will not like this. It needs something. It says one day, well, it says edited. It says it's trademarked.
Very looks like
fraud. I'm just pointing out that I found an error, and then I'm going to get it. They should be arrested on Christmas or Hanukkah, which are kind of screwed out. And I'm not. Just a virtual hug. Listen, the cope is here already. First word out of the gate. Just virtual hug. That's not it's not a real hug. No, it's virtual. And reminder. Remind. I don't need a remind. For anyone who needs it. Yeah, it's not specific on your situation. I was posted a day ago before I spent. I spent the last 7 hours masturbating. Apparently, no effect. Concerned. Proletariat. Watching. What? Koozy's dick is broken. What are we going to do for entertainment? Watch him read. Yeah, they'll do. There's nothing else. I'm Max Apex. I'm currently having an energy drink. Reese's International Wine. It's so trash. I don't have a pot belly, but I have this weird warm. Because all I'm doing for years, just sit around like a fire to keep me warm. Why? Why do you ask? No one asks. Those who know silently cheer on. Those who don't know get increasingly discomforted and dismayed and completely discombobulated. What the fuck is he doing? How does he do that? He can't keep getting away with it. Bitch, that guy. He was a very much like your show. He was like the mascot of the show. I think that I was cute. And that was fun to look at. I was used to how I was dumb. The fuck, I'm safe, bitch. You are not safe. Ever. Safety doesn't exist. When somebody comes back from the future through heaven on his boat, hey, I was just murdered, help! If your name is Chevy Chase or Michael Keaton, I guarantee you you're going to have a great deal. She was in it all the time. I don't even know. Could have been a fucking project. Could have been a fucking trickster dude. Could have been God, Jesus Christ himself. Fuck if I know. I don't fucking care. But that plan was bored anyway. I was sitting at the house waiting for something to happen. 6 years prior, I had thought, maybe I should follow up on this instinct I got from Facebook. There's this woman. I made a joke. I thought it was funny. So she commented back. That never happened. You know why? Because they've been fucking groomed since 15. Oh, yeah. And then I had no idea how much was. I cost the syndicate a lot more money than I thought. And then I found out that will help. Give a fuck! At all. While cunningly disguising himself as a utterly volatile sex and growth fiend. Heather, cashier at Olive Garden, hi. I had to leave because you were too crazy. That guy was going to kill me for the way you were looking at him. Yeah, yeah, so that's why they got rid of me. I don't know what happened to you. So you did it. Haven't seen you since you saw a girl the other day. She seemed kind of like anyway, that time will never come again. And then, wow, everybody at Olive Garden was doing coke. I wonder why that was. Oh, that's right. Because I going. Fast forward to now. I won the game quite a while ago. So we don't need to continue winning because I'm done. Except for the man performance. These people want to know. Hey, dude, what? The chicks are here. They're all fucking flopping around on the floor. Tell me more. Oh, is it a secret? Oh, well, maybe that's why they know. Maybe they're doing the fish because they're in the secret ocean. No, morons. I don't know what's going to happen. I know it's not going to happen. Anything fucking good until I get my goddamn let's see, discovery, civil rights, explanation that makes it seem like you're not fucking a bunch of fucking morons. Because it's the most obvious fucking thing in the world. And you're in the sonic impervious shield. Fuck you, Mason niggers. I'm fucking famous. I've been famous since long before I showed up there. And I didn't know there was anything interesting going on. Everybody else knew. Word spread like wildfire. I had no idea. I figured everybody knew for some reason. Now I fucking know why. Because they did. People couldn't figure out. Why does he not know? How does he not know? What is he doing? They just assumed I was an idiot. They assumed I was a retard. That's what I wanted them to assume. How everybody was I really that fat? Actually, I'm really intelligent. Technology called it glamour. Glamour is glamour. Glamour. It's like glamour. Let's just say, you don't feel bad. I was stupid. I thought I needed to be careful. I had no idea you were going to be fucking karmically afflicted just because I cast that spell on your tits. I mean your mouth. I mean my cock. I mean, you sucked it, right? Whoa. No, I encircled your view while you were positioning. How did I know? You know, I'm a sophisticated. I know things. I know when a woman that's fucking 16 tells me, "Oh, well, I want you to be my first." Bitch, you've been sucking dick in Hong Kong for fucking 12 years. I guess or something. I don't know. You're not even a normal person. You said little outfit on, and you thought you were going to run game on me, and you thought it didn't matter a lot. That was so rude. How dare I look at your ass? I obviously didn't love you. All I wanted was sex. How the fuck would you know? You were 3 years old. Yeah, a 12-year-old body. Go figure. How that happened? Did they do some kind of weird thing with time travel and consciousness? Say it ain't so, bitch. No, it ain't so. It's bitch. Yeah. As bow stone below. Sal Bella. Remember? How did you not notice? Oh, I thought you didn't know that. What it meant was that you had lied to me one time. Yeah. I was under no obligation to respect him. No, he had the ability to respect him, but instead, he tried to be thuggy and act like in charge. And he was. Cool. He's a ghost. He can jump from body to body. He's a criminal mastermind. Cool. He had everything going for him except for balls. Pride and experience being Clando in disguise. I didn't give a shit anyway. Oh wow, he wrote a note on a piece of paper and handed to a stewardess on Portland, Seattle. Ooh, that's really stretching. Stretching the envelope. I guess he wanted to do things from home. And then he stole a bunch of money by casting a spell, and he made them do that. He made them do the thing that he was going to do. Company. And then the skydiving thing was cool, and then they had to take everything. Okay, so That's their family. Whether it's actual blood or not. That man is my great uncle. Also, Tecumseh is now my spirit guide. He doesn't say much. Tecumseh is amazing. There's a board that's got Tecumseh on the back of it. In the holographic reality on the back of all the quarters. This seems like the kind of thing I should be able to tell my family. Because they're dorp, but instead they're busy talking to the folks. They're busy other things. They're busy thinking I'm somebody I'm not. Except they're not really, because they're telling me, the kids fucking love people hear my parents, or rather, they hear their parents screaming about me nonstop, day after day, like I fucking owe them money. And the children do not understand why this is the case. They don't understand that it was supposed to be implicit about social contract that I was supposed to puff them up, and they were then going to eventually let me get high once and then they put me into a pigeon, and then they laugh at me. And I was so about that, they put me into the body of a wanker. And then I'd be in a wanker body for a while, and I wouldn't get laid because I smelled like shit. Impresses on schools and those. And if I ever got anywhere near misbehaving towards any of them once, they killed me. And if I lived in a miserable hell like that for at least 15 years, then they'd basically give me the keys to the pharmacy and a semi-truck and just ignore me and let me do whatever I wanted. If I can't spot them being weird by then, I guess we're safe. Because that's how fucking stupid the whole fucking rules are. Like the criminal gangs are not known for their well-adept plotting. They represent much besides how to run away from people. And it doesn't really bring up the fact that culture is entirely designed around firefights, which I don't mind saying. Counselor told me that. And the military, dude, they're not mad about us. The military doesn't know their ass. There's better things to do right now than listen to me, because number one, I'm not fun to listen to. I told them ahead of time that I was going to be jailed with playtime. Number three, it wasn't that much fun at the beginning. And then number four, they can read my brain through the phone, like and my brain has like a repeat of the numbers. Yeah, I know your cell phone killer, so I'm just thinking shallow thoughts that I'm just planning by ear, and I can't believe it's going on. And I'm doing what God says. I'm being held by Jesus in the phone. 3.5 years, I haven't got a hug, and I'm still sending my vehicles for 2 or 3 years. And I just found out you've been hiding this one woman from me. Now we're going to find out and blow up your entire lineup. Peace, the end. P.S. Just kidding. No, I'm just going to blow the end. Peace, just kidding. No, you're serious. That's that. I'm going to kill you all. Bye. Click. I'm not going to kill them all. I'm not. They have no way of knowing that. DEA is the biggest question. They're just insane. They have no idea what they're doing. They don't know what they did wrong. And everything they have is dust. In other news, I guess my civil rights news. Thanks, guys. Slide on. Hey, Carlos. I'm a pretty good friend of yours, but I'm not going to out you. Most people who know you know who you are anyway. And yeah, don't you feel dumb? Yeah, it's okay. Queen of Wands under judgment for. Queen of Wands under judgment for numerous law violations. I don't need to know what she's. I don't need to know what she is. I don't need to know what this guy thinks is important. And this guy is out of He lives over the hill. He lives over yonder, but past the creek. Yeah, he fucked up too, and it's his job to protect his cohorts, his colleagues, his fellow members of the Blue Lodge. Not one of those motherfuckers in Blue Line, and doesn't give a shit about me at all. Is every man for themselves, and they got no fucking clue what to do, and I'm obviously here to reach out and test somebody. Hey, Bubba, did you want to accuse me of being again? Because I'm not going to. One, can't wait. Two, I would never do that to you. Number three, He didn't piss me off that bad. Number 4, I didn't rape Miranda either. You showed up to the condo and then she indicated that she didn't want to be married to Levi anymore. So, being a master of elimination as I am, what are you going to So I divorced from a bullshit guy, and then that and then that kept coming up, upholding the decision to surrender union of power. Typically, one horse, two hick towns. Strangers roll into town and then start willy-nilly divorcing people who are bound together by common law and common local custom. Thug gangs, smuggling rings. They don't usually like strangers coming in and fucking that up. I was pretty sure they weren't going to like it. I didn't really like what they did either. And on that disagreeable point, we have yet to achieve terms. The woman in question had lost her fucking mind. When I saw her, she was surprised that I threw her out. She said, I wish I could just punch you in the face. That was her best attempt at being seductive. Odd. The woman she was before, she got ensorcelled by her pit thug. She was pretty cool, and then I wasn't sure if I kind of wanted to stick with her anyway because it was kind of weird how she showed up and thought she was in charge. She's driving an LGL. She didn't fucking tell the truth. I just got out of a fucking ambush, bitch. I got ambushed again, and nobody knows what's going on. And I see my family and how long, and you didn't know what's going on. She didn't care. They were just natives. I was just a native from her. She was mad at me, and she had been programmed that way by space mother or whatever. I can't remember her name. Oh, Miranda. Yeah, I remember she had this. I used to hear about it, but indicating that she wanted to punch me in the face and thought that she couldn't do it. That was one straw over the line. I said, "Get out!" And then she was thrown out of my house, and I was out. Except I did see her again. She'd been ridden hard in the West because she apparently had a very effective. And they don't think of her as human. She's an angel, a robot, a tranny that captured her from the sky. So and they think that she's not human. Turn on the fucking mirror. She's nice. I mean, I like the movie, and I guess she fell pretty hard for me. I do love her. I love her now. I don't give her a shit about what the fuck she's doing. I mean, yeah, I divorced her from her guy, and that's real. And then she couldn't reassert it because he's a dork. And he didn't do very well calling me a stupid nigger. No. He was in charge of the case. And she said to me that she was married to some guy. He captured his name all the time. And he sent her to me with this dumb hat and stuff. And then they never said a word or one about anything important. They just run around while my wife was getting raped or getting whatever, and like 30 more people are getting trapped. These people couldn't fucking shoplift. And they were acting like I was a Oh, no. No, I wanted to do this, but no. After getting thrown into a cell multiple times, the last straw was when I was placed into a cell with a Satanist. The place where I was housed. He was always the same room. They kept on putting me there, thinking that was going to stop me. I come back and there's this guy in there. He's like Jason Momoa. He's naked from the waist down. He's obviously a Satanist. Trying to be chill, but no, he's a servant of the Dark Lord. After he's talked to me for 23 minutes, he's real interested. Have you ever been cruised by a Satanist? I have. So he tries to be my friend, and I'm like, oh, yeah, of course. I didn't ask for a Satanist. They sent me one because at the time they didn't know what the fuck I wanted. I didn't know what was going on. Nobody knew what was going on. They didn't care. They just followed orders. It was a military op, which nobody bothered to tell me. People assumed that if I didn't know, it was a military asset. I deserved everything I got. Well, if they don't know how clergy they got, and that guy tried to rape me with a spell that paralyzed me, supposed to make me willing to at least made Jason Momoa goodness. They locked me in a cell with a guy whose eyes turned black. He tried to ensorcell me so he raped me. It did not work. No, he left the sale soon after. He was obviously not a real. And that's when I realized I was in town. Thought it'd be a good idea to separate me from my wife, and claim that I wasn't married. I guess I'm not. Does that mean your horrible sister's failed? What about those death curses? Do those only work on single men? Oh, and what about those death curses? Did you notice that they bounced off? Yeah, so what the fuck were you doing? And who was giving you that? And where did you make that? And what was that stuff? And how did you break my mother's enchanted mirror that I didn't even know I had? Bitch, where'd my stuff go? What the fuck are you thinking? Was that Vaughn or was that Linda? Oh, you don't want to answer questions? And then Linda didn't want to. She can't spare the time. Well, neither could I, but I still drove up there, and then she acted like I did something wrong. Mason niggers, I didn't do anything wrong. I did everything correctly. It wasn't wrong to assume that you were all reasonably intelligent. What are the odds that you're all that stupid? It wasn't the odds, it was fake. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Miranda Lee. Hi, Miranda. Last time I saw her, she was out of her fucking mind, and she's programmed to hate me. I'm not allowed to have friends. Before, they would send people at me and they tried to fool me. And so they're running out of cops and tops and cops, and judges are seeing all this stuff because I'm being very immediately sharing my details out loud about their wrong. This is how it works. They had a plan to do a party. I did that over and over and over. And then somebody decided it would be a good idea to try and get me arrested for selling drugs. I sell drugs. I need those. This is evidence and nothing. Kind of suspicious if I suddenly started hunting endangered species. Everything else they have nothing. They're going to have to drop again. And then they're going to have to let me talk to the other person. And then I can call her up and say, hey, I bet you're FBI. Do you work with the other one? Cool, let's go clubbing. Yeah, now I figured out why all you women were acting funny. I didn't know the rules. Blah, 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 blah. And then I can just expect them to say, okay, you got me. I'm a cop. Or they can say, how dare you? I'm a criminal just like you. Come, let's go look at the fellow kids in the park. Like, whatever the fuck is going on, there's a bunch of women who didn't want to tell the truth, and I can see why. Reasonable. Yeah, and the way that I found this out is eventually the police have to awkwardly admit that they're completely in over their heads and they have no idea what's going on. Because of Belgap. Now, rather than tell anybody or hire lawyers or help from anybody, I knew this was coming from day one. I get to Belgap, somebody else says go there. I get there. First thing I see, rape jokes. Ha ha, Whitley Streeter got raped. Ha 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 ha. That's nice. Ha ha ha. Let's rape some more. Anal August. Ha ha ha. That's funny. It's on the fucking website. It's got the national radio broadcast. His kid got raped because of having AIDS. And he had to put a show up for like $30 million. No. Something was rotten in Denmark. Something was fucking on fire. And in the midst of this, oh, isn't it funny to have jokes about rape on where children are? Why? No, it's not funny at all. And while anal rape was never my concern or fear, I didn't find it all that good of a sign. A dude who had problems with his career and then disappeared. Joggers and raped in high school. Apparently they weren't ready to announce that they and they weren't really what was going on. And eventually again. Apparently this was under some duress. That's our problem. I don't have ham radio operators. I don't think they'll be doing it for long. And it was a good idea. Make giggle jokes about raping Whitney Streeter. Hey, Willie. I'm not like that. Now, Whitney can't trust him. Oh, sure, it sounds good that you can trust her. You can't trust her. funny. You know, most guys when you rip their wife, still trash their name for their entire life. Most guys get upset about that. And I'm not a big fucking pussy. I knew what Belgab was. I knew it was dangerous. This woman comes out of nowhere and acts like she knows shit. She thinks that I'm going to cover her and she can ride the fine. I say there's special cops for the line of clergy. Oh, my grandpappy was an easy baby. I blew right off. I'd heard that noise before, and I knew that I didn't want. I didn't give a shit about my stomach. They thought that's what I wanted. I didn't give a shit about the secret recipes. They thought that was delicious. I didn't care that the whole thing was crap. They thought that they were well hidden. No. The whole thing has been an off for most of my life. Now, I didn't really think that it was that large. Things have a way of spiraling out of hand. Anyway, at some point, I started changing the clothes. And somebody started to play hardball. Wrong motherfucking monkey. Whatever. I don't know what's going on, but no one else does either. And the land of the blind screams into the nightmare rectangle. 12 miles south outside of town. He's the king. I went to town yesterday. I got trespassed from the grocery store. That's how fucking desperate. Trespass from grocery. I can go somewhere else. Yeah, I'm going to. You'd think that if they wanted me to go, they would give me the fucking money they owe me, and then they say they're sorry. They're not sorry. No, they're actually expecting to get away with things, or they're pretending like they're gonna. And then I don't know what this guy's thinking, but I guess he's a fucking reformed Satanist who thinks that he has jack or shit to say to me about his fucking wife. Yeah. When you meet somebody and you say, "This is my wife, we're separated, she cheated on me," I didn't help you, and I feel bad about it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to notice that that's a bullshit scam. Apparently he didn't like the lesson. And then he learned more lessons. He told me to tell a woman who's coming over to me that I brought the weed over, and that the guy gave me weed, didn't have any weed. He had like pounds in the bathroom. And he told me he wanted me to show this because he didn't want her to know. And I'd already known that they were police officers. He wanted me to lie to a police officer. And I looked at him like, dude, what? And he's like, yeah, dude, just do it. As if he was not going to proceed. As if it was something that I was just going to do. As if it was a fait accompli. As if I were that fucking stupid. Dude. Do you want to buy Sky? No, I've got Sky. Okay, so here's what you do. Give me some money. Just give me all of it. I'll give it back after I tell you where the bottle is. See, then it'll be fair. What do you mean? Do you want Sky? No, not him. His name's Sky. No. Sky. The box puncher man. Sorry. My contact. I don't know if I could say so. Like, you know who Five Eyes is? No. He's first thing I need to see is that shit. He's fucking poorly educated. Fucking tough stuff. He's a long bully thug bitch. He thought I was no problem. Oh, he's just a meth addict. Well, let's see. Your wife has had an extra class fine living 400 years of life. Your wife is not your wife. The one who I skipped out on, who I actually like, she's showing up. I figured out how to solve it. And fuck you. I don't know. Kill me, bro. I understand why you guys do this. What I don't understand is why you insulting people better. The first one didn't work. The second one's not going to get you any farther.
knowing that you get a standard flash short of the so oh, I know, because you're Satanist. You're just seeing if you make it about see how low you're so we go to the Satan God. So as I need to get a job, and you get to sit down hovering. I'm wrong. No matter what it's like. Why am I talking about that? Now more than I'm actually this guy's saying they're going to stop rescue him. He doesn't like me, which I guess is a lie because he's been training for 12 or 14 years. I had no idea. Anyway, that was the guy who was the aftermath of the damn. He's either a cop or he's pretending to be one of the reasons or something. And he seems to think he wants me to find out exactly what's bothering him. And then to fill it down and it's worst fucking your shit. Real almost to the mouth. I was expecting to find him. I knew everyone. Even him, I told him real fast about that. I learned about that. He gave me $100 That's when I met him. Supposedly, we and he's the guy. In fact, he was such a big guy that he was for me to go along with it. That's funny. He's obviously not cool. And Black Earth isn't worth it. I'm not the nation. I'm a citizen. I'm a man. Most men, if you try to will end your fucking existence. You poke the bear one too many times. Fuck you. He's against the rules. Now, I never imagined. He's too nice to mess with that. Racist. And and no, he has to hear about how that was at the water cooler every day. And he's been ever since. Because all he has is not be a dick. And he's still a dick. So I think that's what they call it, karmic. They don't usually listen. And they don't always. Literal ghost. Cool. I love that man's. I'm not a big fan of Satan. He's premier Satanist. I think my journey. I don't know. He's really total company. And then he's a big deal. He died. And his daughter. Jesus. Cool. That's a girl in my own heart. She could and then go, how dare she steal my man? That's kind of because for one thing, and I actually engage in the pattern of conduct swindling So when I saw Anton said where I had been ignoring I was
unbeknownst to me, seduces property a little too usefully. Yeah, I didn't know people got that upset about it. And then I realized, do anything with her, but she's certainly attractive. And I realized that, that's Barbara McDonald. I met her on a bus. She was really smart. Checking it out. She's a okay, he's a drug addict. He's a serial killer. We know this guy's gonna blow one day or another. He's Elliot Rogers Part 2. We've been tickling his balls all life. I would remember we can't get him on any song. So we're gonna mess with him a whole bunch. He's just not trying hard enough and needs to get his job. Okay, break. Not my spirit. I've literally been doing this my whole life. It's almost like whispering at the fucking like, and then and even before people still did that. Snap, crackle, pop at the Masons. Let's deal with the email. Which I must know. It's completely off. Great. It makes sense. I can see why they did. And then on top of that, it's anyway. So I and had them convicted, and now they're being sentenced by one. Karmic and appropriate. Maybe like to tell me that I'm crazy. Because of course I'm fucking crazy. I don't need to be I need to be effective. Optics deserve it. If they can get paper, we have to wait and get judge. Sufficient amount of evidence. Well, because of this and this and this, put him in a jail cell. Judge. These people just want to. They can come in here. Body money that they planted. Caught. Yes, have cleaned up. Body's buried in body's buried out there. I'm not going to find them. Shit, they've been here for how long? I started getting them up. That's what I take up evidence. Of course they're lying at me. They blame me for everything. Everybody knows and everybody has been told. Oh, well, much worse. It's that real secret. Otherwise, we're going to expose the entirety of the Newsflash, they already did that. The day is coming. The reckoning will come to you. Worry about paying for shit. You don't have to worry now either. They're going to fucking pay. Which isn't even that big a deal. It's not like I'm just plugging false vengeance and I'm going to be a threat to this society. No. I was polite and considerate, and then after some events happened, most notably, they bothered to forge my signature on court documents rather than tell me, okay, we need you to stop speaking because Matt Parker and Trey Stone, they're getting jealous. So no more speaking for you, Jack. That was difficult to actually say out loud since they're saying me for selling it, right? Weird. Why wouldn't mine? Now, why would they tell me not to get the evidence? You know, not have the evidence if they do want to have the evidence. Well, they just wanted me to feel bad about it. I'm not sure exactly when I stopped giving a shit about what anyone said. But it was a while ago. And they can see that. Are y'all following this down now? I've won. I won a long time ago. Some people here are now. Why I'm telling you this career from 1920 on Monday, Memorial Day. I'm not getting late tonight. I don't have and the spare bandwidth to calm down my hypervigilant world so I can relax out and cuddle and have the sugar down my. No. I'm pretty wired up. So given that people are they're not going to succeed. Doesn't matter. I'm still trying. And really, I won't have this kind of opportunity to practice for very long in my life. No. Once I'm free and clear of this now thing, I am disappearing like a fucking will o' the wisp on Saturday morning cartoon show. I'm not ever going to be thinking, gosh, I'm going to miss all this attention. No, this fucking sucks. Fucking sucks. It's absolutely worthless. I don't know how many people hated her, but I hate her a little bit less now. And by now, many people have forgotten about her because everybody else in the world has been resurrected. Been paid attention. She's at work. She's busy. No, I can't talk to her. I make condescending comments that I barely talk about her. And I don't talk fast enough. And her trying to talk to a bunch of other people who may or may not be her. Well, I'll give it a shit if she gets jealous. Because before she was leveraged, she would get jealous. She would freak out and be manipulable by her thingy hammer. That's what happens to bound chattel slaves. They get bound up with microchips. Okay, so if that woman can't handle dudes, I'm not gonna hire guards and have her gorgeous. I'm not gonna hover around her like a helicopter parent. Who are you talking to? Let me see your phone. No. If she can't fucking get her shit together, her shit will get gone. And then her 17,000 royal family members. I know how they'll do it too. They'll put her in a wood chipper and then put her spirit inside another body. Probably not a pigeon, but that's what they do. And that's usually what they do with these people because she's all fucked up. They were going to kill her and put her in a body, and that was how she was going to escape. That's what these people did. They were mortal. They could move from body to body. They knew I liked her. They wanted her dead. So yeah, I'm not surprised that I felt like she was going to. At that point, they were giving up, and that's why they had such a ridiculously sloppy execution. It never occurred to them that they wouldn't get what they wanted. They're Masons. She's 60,000 years old. She just moves from body to body to body. Basically, they're energy vampires. We're talking about Life Force with Steve Railsback and Captain Jean-Luc Picard and that woman. Was that Monica Bellucci? Fuck, I don't know, but in Life Force, these space vampires come. And they fucked that up. And in my life, oh, is she a space vampire too? Hot damn, Grapefruit's got it all. Doesn't that sound insane? Yeah, it really does. So since I'm not saying this in open court or at a doctor's office, and I know a much more rational, sane way to talk about it, I'm probably not going to go to the Hooskow since apparently everybody's having a fucking full-on meltdown. Because somehow all of this is snuck into everyone's radar who's supposed to be paying attention. They're real good. They're real good at yelling at me. They're really good at reminding me about my Neger heritage. Chef Schizo, take your meds. Cut his mic. Like, okay, so I got the message. They wanted me to be quiet. Why? Oh, because there was some dude who was pretending me, and then the more I talked, the harder it was for him to reassert dominance over the voice. This was always about getting rid of me. This was always about power. Yeah, people know that now. Because it was never like that for me. I didn't give a shit about anything except making sure that those kids grew up knowing that Hungarians are awesome and they remember to laugh at their parents. I guess their parents There's such hot shit that I've gone through all this 8 or 9 years just to make sure that I don't have to worry about them chasing me down and killing me for embarrassing them. Yeah, they're not going to be able to blame me for embarrassing them. No. They embarrass themselves, and their kids fucking know it. Certainly the kids have heard different kinds of stories and versions, but the bottom line is I was there before. I haven't been allowed to be back. Whoever the fuck is there now, oh, there's a bunch of people, and none of them like me very much, and the kids hear the parents bitching and hollering about Jack.
8 or 9 years later, they're still raging about Jack Michelson. I'm more famous than Kevin Costner with these people. I don't just dance with wolves, I fuck with them too. No lube, first balls deep, first thrust. Yeah, these kids, I'm their fucking hero, because any kid will like somebody who rolls in and pisses off the parents and they're still talking about him. How many years later? Met her in 2017, and then she was stalking me for 6 years before that. So 2011, it's 2025. She got a 14-year span at the minimum of this family setting their sights on me and licking their chops. These kids have grown up hearing about me like I'm fucking Ichabod Crane. I'm their worst nightmare. Well, the parents say. And then the kids are like, why? What's wrong with Jack? And here's what's wrong with Jack. I don't want to give them free money. I want to teach the children and the women how to make money and be supportive for themselves. And I want to find the men who rape women and try to use children as hostages and beat them until they're fucking dead. That's pretty much what I want to do. So the children generally have a positive aspect when they look at me, considering they know I'm probably not serious. They don't think I can beat people up till they're dead. I probably think I'm not allowed to. Oh, I'm allowed. That's why it means more that I don't. But at this point, it's been years. Yeah, it's cool that I saved your life, but apparently they didn't think it was necessary for her to talk to me. Oh no, there's all these fucking native American trees that are kind of intermingled with each other, and like it or not, yeah, I kind of need to get talked to. Not one fucking person for 3 years after breaking all shitloads of law and setting her up for a rape train, among other things. Yeah, that's still going on. That thing that I'm not supposed to talk about? Fuck you, Chuck. I don't give a shit what you want. I don't want to talk about it either. I also don't want to look like a pussy or be ineffective when it comes to saving what's left of your family's reputation. I can see why people are hard on you. You're the asshole. You used to be in charge of shit. Now you're not in charge of anything. You said fucking look like a big fucking pussy. Yeah, and I get it. We all have our allegiances. Yeah, yours suck. Okay. I have God. I don't give a shit who you have, dude. You had ample time to do anything besides be a dick. You've just been a dick the whole time. And you know why? Yeah, you know why? Because you don't like me doing stuff for your daughter. You have other plans for your daughter. And the woman that she was hiding. And you knew exactly what she was doing. And then you didn't want to tell me. You just got real suspicious and then eventually called me a cocksucker for your kid. I know why. Now I know why. No shame in it, sir. For me, okay, young, we all got your secrets, but now that I know what your secrets are, I'm not scared of you. I saved your daughter's life. They were going to kill her, old man. I don't give a shit what you thought she was immortal. I mean, you're hard to kill, but there's ways. Yeah. And if you wanted to not make a big scene, telling me to shut up was not the way to go. Since I don't do that. Now, I don't know if this is all a reverse parapsychological profile psyop to get me to do those. I don't really know. Since the people who think they're so clever and special, they don't bother talking to me. No. They're like going to the island to get King Kong. Just chain him up and tie him to the deck. We'll show him off later. Make sure he doesn't get any food, so he's real mad. Crowds love mad gorillas. Yeah, they do. They love it when I fucking scream my head off. Mostly because people who have heard of me have figured out, oh, that's his thing. He pretends to be a lunatic, but he's actually stone cold sober minded. Pretty much, yeah. Remember Terry Davis? Raging about the CIA niggers? Yeah, he was on a shitload of drugs. And he had a plan, but his plan didn't have a follow-up. I don't just have a plan. I have faith and trust in God. And none of this was my own. I'm here as a favor. After I'm done here, I'm going to go down to Mitch and Murray. We're going to start measuring for our busts in the garden. We're going to have statues made. I don't mind this. I have nothing better to do. Except I'd like to have sex with those women I was going to have sex with once I figured out what happened. Now that I figured out what happened, oh, no wonder they don't want to fuck me. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to fuck them either. Fuck that. Because if they couldn't see that, well, I was under a misapprehension of the facts. I thought people liked me because I was valuable. No. They liked me because they knew that I was the world laughingstock when it came to Freemasons being bullying thugs and thugs. I was supposed to be the poster child for beating shit out of people and knowing how to take a lesson. They wanted to humiliate me because my father apparently pissed them off. Masons are fucking sick and serious. They are vicious. Add to that the Tootslez army and the gay homofags. A whole bunch of fucking really seriously angry queers who are not getting their dick sucked from me. Oh no. Yeah, they want my head on a flat. And in addition to not getting that, I've bankrupted not just them but the entire fucking animal folk. Children are no longer thinking about going gay. They're wondering if they can step in and out of the gay pool, and they're laughing at the Tootslez hall monitors, resting bitch face that used to sneer at them and scare them. They're no longer scared of the Tootslez because Jack Starr's not scared. I love lesbos, and whatever happens to a woman to make her gain an affliction that they call resting bitch face. Well, I'm sorry, that sucks. Yeah, it's probably a bad application of cock. Maybe they should have dated somebody nicer like me. But instead, they were like, you don't even have washboard ads. How much money do you have? What? You don't have a job? I'm not going to fuck you. Gross. Loser. That's what the attitude was in the 70s. Fuck, it still is. Men and women have sex for very different reasons. Okay, well, yeah. I don't have sex at all. Well, does 7 hours masturbating in full open view of whatever fucking cameras now, making a big scene of myself and looking like a fucking moron, does that count as having sex? I don't know. I'm not a voyeur. And I don't know how many people are watching me. It's more than none. Okay. And in spite of how it sounds like it's a sort of cop out insecurity use. I've deliberately turned my penis off. No problem. I can turn it back on. If there was a reason to, I would. When somebody tries to arrange for some sort of swindle to happen, that they negotiate for me on my behalf without me even being there. Rewire the phone so that I'm not talking to another, and the whole time I'm using my phone, I'm actually talking to a robot. And meanwhile, there's a bunch of people behind the scenes, and I'm not supposed to know about any of them. I'm supposed to be blissfully unaware that they're walking me down the hallway. No, I kind of knew that was happening. I just didn't realize it was yeah, the Masons are fucking vicious. And these days they're kind of harsh. There's a entire system. Right? Yeah, going on. Does anybody want to say that I have a small? I have one. It's very small. It's very small. I'm not turned on. There's nobody here. Well, why would I go out of my way? I'm trying to get unless I was a sex addict, which I'm not. But all of them are. Or the drug addicts. Why would I go out and try to get a crystal? I've never seen it before. And then all of a sudden, some guy who knows audio top of the world, he's trying to entrap me. It's obviously you end up being raped. So I just didn't get it. I didn't go home for her birthday, and then ran my batteries out of power, and then slept overnight in the car outside my house. Not knowing if there was a tracking device in my car or not. I didn't know if these people were full-on spurheads or they were just but being asked to buy something I didn't want for a woman who didn't know wow, that's to be weaponized after being raped, etc. Yeah, I got tired of that. And there was no way in fucking hell. I wanted to do it here. I don't give a shit it was her birthday. She did fucking being miserable for a long time. And then all of a sudden, she has to go out of state because somebody, for 4 hours, she's on the phone with me. She can't tell me why. What? What? I still don't know why. What? Years later, I don't get to know why.
You know why? Because it's so many. I don't have a need to know. And essentially, no one has to know because those who know understand the situation. Oh yeah, they were trying to bust you, huh? Yeah, they actually were. Whether or not they thought that was a good idea, or whether or not there was, I don't know. They were fully full the fuck on compromise. I have no idea how or why. Probably when people found out that for 3 years I was putting my dick in this woman and her compatriots who looked the same. I don't know really. Were one body or yeah. So they were all doing speed, but they weren't giving me. They were acting like it was a big deal. Ooh, don't let Jack get in. He's dangerous. He's got a rap. This is all part of a scheme. All over the world. I thought it was a little odd. It was seeming to be okay for me to be demanding money from, and somehow drug use was no. Somehow first day conversations went, oh yeah, I did this and this, and she's like, yeah, and then all of a sudden, no, you're a family now, mister. You gotta pay these bills. You gotta show your love, or else we're gonna. Well, you just gotta do it. A real man pays for things. He gives her everything that his mother left him. Yeah. How fucking stupid a fucking thing. I think it was a character. Anyway. That's what that was like. And then I never imagined that was real. It never occurred to me that wasn't something other than real. Because I didn't think that people were that. And it turns out that sometimes they're cardboard cutouts and not how they run people who suddenly unexpectedly die and then are rehoused on the planet. It's kind of complicated. Yeah, when they get other and then they get their energy rations. Kind of like I told her after something happened, she's going to in. I still don't know why or how. I don't care. It was a real one. I kind of figured it out. I wasn't there to myself. I was there because God said, "Dude, you should go in. Red Flag City, go in there." I'm like, what? Sure. I mean, I'm not doing anything. I've been sitting around for like 8 years trying to figure out why the fuck isn't anybody telling me anything? Why don't I look? Oh, now I know. Yeah. I know exactly why. Nobody told me. I just had to figure it out, and I didn't bother thinking about it. Somebody would call me up and say, "Hey, yeah, I'm real sorry. Let me explain what happened." That still hasn't happened. And I've discovered that the programs to prevent people from being connected to each other with the internet. They hover around me like a flock of buzzards, and when they detect me, after they've been giving me a kill shutdown order, they just get rid of me. Just turn off my connection. They can't chat with me. I don't have a private network. I don't have OPSEC. I pretend like I don't know. This is low. I think I'm trying to get laid. I don't know. I've been. Not trying to. I have a plan. Pretty good plan, right? Can't tell you about the plan. We're in the middle of an ongoing operation. I don't know what's going on, but rather than do anything that I've ever said or written down, I'm just doing what and in spite of it being totally legal, it's not really the good idea. People have started to notice that people that are paying attention to me are losing their fucking minds. They see me being an idiot, and they can't do those things, and they see me being happy-go-lucky and not appearing that they care about. Don't have to work. Don't have to wake up. Don't get sick. Don't get miserable. Don't get angry. Don't get guilty. Don't get caught. Don't have no fun. My male power more. I've been losing my hair since I was 15. I'm 52. I roll into a chat channel and shit about it. See, these are robots. When criminal conspiracy groups circle, they generally turn to robots to get into. And then it's a little harder to stop something. But on the internet, it's easy. They're autonomic users on the internet. Taking the time for guest credits. They spend a lot of time outdoors. They really do nothing but sit on the internet and read some shit. Right. I see. For years. Well, I'm going to make it easy for them to I don't have anywhere to go. The people that I used to know, yeah, I didn't know them that well. And when I found out what's going on with these guys, I'm still annoyed. Why didn't my friends know what's going on? Well, because they weren't my friends. Yeah. They were cordial to me because they thought I was harmless and stupid, and they felt bad for me because they thought I was stupid and just couldn't say no to drugs and alcohol. I'm going to come to a bad end, right? No. It's embarrassing. How are the Masons going to make a explain that Sunday Patriot inspired? Why don't they just tell him, well, Jack Michelson just finally came up one day and called us all out on bullshit. Now he's a sorcerer and everybody loves him. Yeah, well, how that one sneak past this? Oh, maybe because we're Satanists. People are not supposed to view the Masons in this way. People aren't supposed to view the Masons at all. Apparently, standards are and then apparently somebody's writing a collection on this. I don't know if they had mentioned that they're in the in addition to a story. Yeah, sure shit. Because I guess they'd heard something about me today. And then apparently nobody who knew anything would say that. And then none of them said to me, oh, hey, about your new girlfriend. Do you know what's going on? No, champ. I didn't know what was going on. I knew there was something going on. I kind of had a hunch. But nobody actually told me. Yeah, dude, it's like this. They all knew. You all knew each other. You kept secrets from me, bro. They plans to destroy my life, and I'm a Mason. And all of you decided that I wasn't a Mason. I guess you asked God, and God told you to hate our friends. No, you didn't. I was a real Mason. I am a real Mason. I don't really see on advancing ranks in the hierarchy. Masonic Brotherhood? Great. Where's the sisterhood? Where's the chicks? Yeah, I don't care about your fucking yeah, now you're hi, Freemason. Did you watch Lodge 49? I loved it. Everything. I do not have you ever heard of closure? It's like weed, but it's kind of sad. Conspirators think when people get reports that somebody's been raped by a suspect group of radio show host, millions of dollars in trust, mysteriously dead. She came back from a trip and she didn't have some time. Somehow this surprised my housewife. She seemed surprised by that because she typically didn't have a bad time. No, she had a bad time. I guess on top of the fact that I told her she had a bad time. I thought she was stupid for going. She thought I was stupid for not doing what she said. She thought that I needed to obey her. She thought I needed her for protection. No. A dead woman from the future came back from time and told me to help her. And she was hot as fuck. And she still is. And I was kind of guilty because it would just be given into my latent desires. But no, I spoke to God about it, and God said,
hit it! Go in! Flags! Go carpool there! We'll get in there!
yeah, the best thing you've ever done. That's just like 9 years ago. Do I have welcome language? Do I have people apologizing for their transgressions? No. I have spurglords wording game on me. I have dudes on Telegram completely ill-prepared to accept certain type of assault on this. Incidentally, members of the album, it did not mean to make you all of you who experienced anything unusual remember, probably hate me even more. That's fine. No, I can't do that. If I could, I would just say it's a secret.
That's fun.
That's hell fun. I can't do that all the time. That's an example of hacking. It's the kind of thing I should have been told long before. But when it happened, keep on doing it, I fixed the part that made a mistake. And I can't really describe that because it involves server commands at the root console level and the backbone data shape. The less I know about it, the better. So it's kind of odd that I just
Nice.
happened. Like when I need to be in the world about what's going on. Jazz hands.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what you're hearing, but somebody else doesn't believe all that, and they don't care. They've been driven insane by democratic lust and their running sex addictions that have mysteriously ballooned into a real problem. And then when they broke laws, falls into the law and pissed off as well as my mother and me. I guess they lose some of their magic.
I wouldn't pay it.
I guess. I take no real pleasure in seriously. I do enjoy not the fact that I look like you. Yeah, I know I look different. I know I feel that's the best part. What's your nuts thought that I broke my things by accident? Oh no! I knew it would happen. I filmed a whole bunch of lies, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna break my penis. With predictable I barely care. Oh my God, he's such an idiot. He's got a brain tumor. No, it's a subtle way of saying, what the fuck are you doing? Explain. Because it's a secret. She just rolled me off and fell from it. Sex predation upon us. Pretty easy. Hi guys. Hey, how do you like my friend? Is she still a lot of fun? I'm not trying to kill anybody. Make you suffer anymore. But I will like to point out, maybe you probably shouldn't have done that. And whoever paid you to do that, you should probably report that. That's the SPCA. You should genuinely repent, sinners. Knock off your fucking go somewhere and explain to the FBI. Oh, by the way, do you know about the multiple? It's actually an alcoholic number. It's like it's like the death clock. This place is incredibly you don't need a hug. That fella who doesn't need anything other than and I'd like to maximize my use of this house. Not going to maximize it with a bunch of fucking trying to yell at men and make me intimidated. Ultimately, harassment yeah, you might want to knock that off. It's Memorial Day. I don't give a shit how this is going down. There's only about a million ways to do it. And I do give a fuck that I was talking to. A lot of people are part and parcel of the industry. The thin line between the radio broadcast there's some overlap. Real people know what's really going on. They're grateful that I'm not making them worse. I'm making them funny. Funny. And I noticed that before. Things have been held in abeyance for 3 years. People have assumed that this is military objective. People have assumed that I'm trying to take control of the It's normal. It's not normal. It's fucking weird. And in order to combat this, Jesus Christ, the Almighty God, the Lord of His life and creation, all of us and the world around us. Came to me in a dream and said, "Hey, you want to be a sorcerer? We need help." It gets better. 3 or 4 years before that, in 2006, driving over the Cascade Mountains, come back to the job, and I had a brief hallucination that I was talking to the founding fathers, asked me if they could count me to help the country while I'm driving. Yeah, how do I daydream about the founding fathers? I don't really know, but you can't really explain everything in terms of it. Oh, he's just high. Oh, he's just schizo. Yeah, even if I was, it's still possible. I don't know if you believe in that, but I did notice that it did help. Some of you may wonder, China syndrome situation. It sounds like I'm dead. You fly through ready to fucking blow. I'm not. I'm enjoying being not in control, but the main thing I'm pissed off about is that I actually have to I'm get freaked out on Memorial Day because I'm going to go to town. And if I see that girl I like, I might just move on her and sink my flesh close to that. And then 1 to 7 assets. Splinter mode. Somewhere in the world. They've had ample opportunity to call. They're not calling me. They try to call me and they talk to some bad bunch who pretends to be me. I have literal evidence for you. I've known for some time, but I think why they're losing their mind and don't have time. Or they revealed that to me. Call the police. I'm not reporting this to police. They're doing it. I don't need more police. I've had quite enough. I don't need police. I do need to know why the fuck it's such a big deal, because they tell me, oh, they thought I was the originator and then they use this magic. Wow, they are embarrassed. Yeah, no wonder I've had a weird yeah. That's what's going on there. I don't even know. There are people listening. They're pretty fucking nerve-wracking. I guess they didn't hear that I was serious. Car, money, my friends on the phone, persons that you're keeping away from me, fuck you. You apologize to them, you tell them, oh, by the way, this guy's alive, and all the mail you send him, we just kept it. I didn't think you probably didn't think we'd do that, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm your husband. Oops. And scene. Something like not in all media markets, but pretty close. Now, I have no reason to keep this. Since in telepathic conversation, half spirit, half life, crazy sisters from another dimension. And that I don't know what that means. You should talk to the woman who used to be my sister. Dead in my home. My mother lied about it. Or whatever the story was. I don't know what the truth is, but there's no reason why I should have been crying, miserable and unhappy and alone. My sister died when I was 3 years old. Oh, because my sister got divorced. Kind of like ex-spouse with Samantha. Turns out everybody's life is kind of the same. And mine is something I did. And whatever the fuck's going to happen, I don't know. No, but I had planned on letting people in reality know, oh, hey, by the way, you're fucking the wrong guy. Because the BDA love that. Like, oh, you thought you were on a date with the man? No, you're on a date with a woman. Oh, crying game. The guy who introduced me to the took me to see the crying game. Oh, I don't know. Took me to see Naked Lunch. He thought he was ruining me in some way for intellectual nothing. I guess he was. And at some point, I guess he beat up on that. I know why. But, you know, it goes around, it comes around. Now, I don't need to worry about any of this stuff because they've already fucked it out, and it's all documented. We could keep on giving it evidence. Turns out I was really clever. The evidence just keeps going back, and the harder, slowly dwindling number of spurt-loaded idiots who are inspiring to regular the way they want. The more they try, the more it keeps coming back. Hi, I'm a genius.
Yeah, very shy.
Yeah, I can get. This traitor imposter trying everything in their power to sabotage. Yeah, that's a autonomous user agent on the Ethereum network doing stupid tasking exchange for all that does. And then imposters that are viable. That's counting that. Dropping sharply. There's only so much of my full power, and then I gladly blown out the door. My outdoor, indoor settings. I don't have to post it. We're listening to me laugh. It's a big deal. I forgot that a lot of us in life. It's so valuable. I don't remember why it's such a big deal that I'm lying. Considering the guy who wants to be on his girlfriend. Now stop talking about me and asking where I am. And not have to worry about me anymore. But unfortunately, yeah, she keeps asking. I wonder how that happened. Oh yeah, there's all the people who told me that I was cheating. 3.5 years later, they're like, "Well, yeah, we thought that was a little weird. Jack's real nice, yeah." No, we didn't tell you he was real nice. We thought it was funny if you watch you two just stumble around and be idiots. That's what it's like. Don't tell him the truth. It's not a secret. I just want to see him fail. Yeah, that's what they did. Maybe less than that. So anyway, that's a tricky. Sweetie, I love you. I'm sure you will. Show me Louis. You're a rat's ass. What you're doing? No, I'm not having sex. And how can a man like me not have sex? Well, it's simple. And then he lied to me. Oh, and she feels like. She's not here. I saw her outside. An actual cat. She was actually Jules. Same color.
I heard this.
Oh, great. I love you. Okay, I brought the cat back. Now, you haven't been here since you're accomplished. Does that mean you're dead or you just don't care? Okay, so now you're avoiding Jewel, as well as the neighbor. And you know, like, why are you not coming around here? No. You think they're snipers, or are you scared of me, or are you free Saudi Arabia for this? Let me know in the comments below. Oh wait, you can't use it. Wow. How'd you not see that coming? That's why I didn't think you were going to do anything like this. Because this is what happens. When people go against it, I'm affected. I don't want to get rid of you. But you pretty much have to get your shit straight and not get this total doofus. Yeah, Jewel is back. I saw her walking down the driveway like she owned the place. She probably fucking does. 4 times at least. I've seen her in a body form. Turns out that do you listen? Do you listen to my content? Oh, do you take notes, or do you just sit there in a glazed over, dead-eyed stare because you're in a coma or something? Oh, she says she can't tell me. Sweetie, I love you. Yeah, I know I'm glad you're alive. I hope they hit you with the tranquilizer dart every few hours on the daily. You're dangerous. That's okay for her. So I guess her plan wasn't that great. Somebody tell her mom that she's not very effective. Somebody mentioned to them that, yeah, I'm still here. And at a time of my choosing, fucking tick, fucking talk. Feeling Mason Bros?
The greatest form of control is where you think you're free when you're being fundamentally manipulated and dictated. One form of dictatorship is being in a prison cell and you can see the bars and touch it. The other one is sitting in a prison cell but you can't see the bar, you think you're free. What the human race is suffering from is mass hypnosis. We are being hypnotized by people like this. Newsreaders, politicians, teachers, lecturers. We are in a country and in a world that is being run by unbelievably sick people. chasm between what we're told is going on and what is really going on is absolutely enormous.
Like we all know what's going down, but no one's saying shit what happened to the home of the brave. These motherfuckers, they controlling us now, and no one's talking about how they made us modern day slaves. And everybody's just walking around, head in the clouds, who won't awaken to a dead in the grave. By then it's too late, we need to be ready to raise up. Welcome to the end of days.
Everybody is slaves, only some are aware that the government releasing poison in the air. That's the reason I collect so many guns in my lair. I ain't never caught slipping, never underprepared, yeah.
Would you know it? Would you blow it? If I had a dick, would you know it? If I had a dick, would you blow it? Would you hear me? See me?
Enormous.
Yeah, they shade sign on me, they just spray it proudly. George Bush, the grandson of Aleister Crowley. They want you to believe the lie that the enemy Saudi. The enemy ain't Saudi, the enemy around me. It's fluoride in the water, but nobody know that. It's also a prominent ingredient in Prozac. For real?
Believe me, would you ever leave me?
Enormous.
Yeah, they shade sign on me. How could any government bestow that upon people who believe in political throwback? That's not all that I'm here to present you. I know about the black pope. Yeah, they shade sign on me. How could any government bestow that? I know about the Black Pope and Solomon's Temple. Yeah, about the Vatican assassins and how they will get you, and how they clone Barack Hussein Obama in a.
It's like we all know what's going down, but no one's saying shit what happened to the home of the brave. These motherfuckers, they controlling us now, and no one's talking about how they made us modern day slaves. And everybody's just walking around, head in the clouds, who won't awaken to a dead in the grave. By then it's too late, we need to be ready to raise up. Welcome to the end.
Whoever built the pyramids had knowledge of electrical power. And you know that that's the information that they suppress and devour. Who you think the motherfuckers that crashed in the tower? Who you think that made it turn into ash in an hour? The same ones that invaded your own. The ones that never told you about the skeletons on the moon. Yeah, the ones that poison all the food you consume. The ones that never told you about the Mount Vesuvius tomb.
Beloved, beloved one, beloved.
The bird flu is a lie, the swine flu is a lie. Why would that even come as a surprise? Yeah, the polio vaccine made you die. It caused cancer and it cost a lot of people their lives. Do y'all know about Bohemian Grove? How the world leaders sacrificing children in robes? Lucifer is God in the public school system. I suggest you open up your ears and you listen.
what's going down, but no one's saying shit what happened to the home of the brave. These motherfuckers, they controlling us now, and no one's talking about how they made us modern day slaves. And everybody's just walking around, out in the clouds, who won't awaken to a dead in the grave. By then it's too late, we need to be ready to raise up. Welcome to the end of days.
The greatest hypnotist on planet Earth is a oblong box in the corner of the room. It is constantly telling us what to believe is real, is real, is real, is real, is real. Is real. Is real. Is real. Is real. Is real. Is real.
Would you know it? If I had a dick, would you blow it?
If you can persuade people that what they see with their eyes is what there is to see, you got them. Because they'll laugh in the face of an explanation that portrays the bigger picture of what's happening. And they have.
The center of heaven is you, and the truth keeps weighing me down. Such a bitch. No matter what you have done, you are the godhead, the chosen one. Terrorist. The center of heaven is you, and the truth keeps weighing me down. Such a bitch. No matter what you have done, you are the
It is constantly telling us what believe is real. Believe is real. Believe is real. Believe is real. As what to believe is real. Believe is real. It is constantly telling us.
you are the
It is constantly telling us what.
Don't ever actually tell me that I'm schizo again. I don't give a shit about your medical opinion. I'd stare because you're in a Oh, she says she can't have it. Sweetie, I love you. Yeah, I know I'm glad you're alive. I hope they hit you with a tranquilizer dart every 2 hours on the daily. You're dangerous, man. I know. That's great for his mouth. So I guess her plan wasn't that great. Somebody tell her mom that she's not very effective. Somebody mentioned her that. Yeah, I'm still here. I'm here. And at the time of Tuesday, is this? What is this? Fucking take fucking talk. You feeling Mason Bros? Don't ever actually tell me that I'm schizo again. I don't give a shit about your medical opinion.